Love is in the air, and I cannot wait to get some color back into my house after taking all of my Christmas stuff down. So we're gonna do that with some fun, easy, and affordable Dollar Tree Valentine's Day DIYs. This is Whiskey and Whit. My name is Whitney, and I want to give a huge thank you to Upside for sponsoring today's video. Also give a huge thank you to my whiskey craft buddies who are back again to DIY with me this week. If you're not already a craft buddy, no worries, just hit subscribe down below. Make sure you hit the bell so it notifies you when new videos come out and we can craft together. Now let's get into the DIYs.
In my last Valentine's Day video, I made these felt Valentines and I mentioned that I should turn it into a garland. Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. So from Dollar Tree, I grabbed some red felt and white felt along with these fun little felt stickers. I used them a ton last year and they are such a great buy for $1.25. I started by cutting about 5-inch wide strips from the felt with my pinking shears just to give it a fun edge. If you don't have pinking shears, no worries, you can just cut a straight edge, but I thought it added to the whimsy of the vibe I was going for here. I cut about 4 strips of white, 4 strips of red, and then I folded them in half to essentially make the size of the envelope that I wanted. So then I took my rectangle, put some glue down either side, and glued the flap up. You can trim if it doesn't align like I did here, and then I'm just cutting 2 little triangles off the sides to make an envelope. I'm hooking that over the top of this jute twine so that I'm able to slide it either way on my garland. Finish it off with one of those stickers and do any last trimming if you need to. And I just did a red and white pattern, but you could do whatever you want. You could incorporate pinks too if that's your vibe. Tons of different options. I thought this turned out so cute. I absolutely love how it looks with the little edges from the pinking shears, and it is just so quintessential Valentine's Day. Now I wanted to add that pom-pom garland just to add a little bit more texture and pizzazz, and I love layering garlands. So to do that, I have a pom-pom maker, and this is one of the best things I bought on Amazon because it saves me so much time than trying to do it by hand. You open the one side, you wrap it around the 2 pieces. I usually do like 2 layers, fold it down, and then do the same thing on the other side so you've got 2 pieces that are covered. Then I have these little Fisker scissors that I love because you can stick it right in there and cut the little fringes along the track. And then I take one last piece of yarn and put it around the center. You can slide it right through these 2 pieces. I triple knot it, and then all you need to do is slide the 2 sides out and pop the thing open, and out comes a beautiful full pom-pom. The pack that I got had 4 different sizes, so I used the largest and the second to largest size. And then I just took the little tails that were created for making my pom-poms, tied them on to some cotton twine from Dollar Tree, and if this doesn't scream Valentine's Day, I don't know what does. Another thing that you could easily customize with different colors, but I love how it is layered here. It gives a little bit more depth, dimension, and it's oh so fun. I recently saw this technique on TikTok and I had to try it myself, but I wanted to do it on a flour sack towel instead of paper like they did. So I grabbed these Dollar Tree towels, I got all of the tags off of them, and I put some cardstock underneath the unfolded towel. Then I grabbed a paper towel roll, saved it from the recycling, and I decided to fold it up into a heart. So I'm using some speedball ink here just because I already have it on hand that I use for screen printing, but Dollar Tree does have 3D fabric paint that you could use and would work just as well. Spread it out on a paper plate and then take your heart shape and put it right in the center. Make sure it's fully coated, get off any excess, and then you're just gonna start stamping. If you've ever done potato stamps or just regular stamping, it's the same idea, and you could go as nuts or as simple as you want here. I ended up doing hearts like this down either side, just carefully stamping, and I let it dry overnight per the instructions for the speedball ink. You're going to want to follow what it says on the back of any ink that you use, whether it be puffy pink or whatnot. Then I'm just setting it at 320 degrees for 60 seconds down my tea towel, and I also used my Cricut press to get rid of some of those big set-in wrinkles. Then I folded it how I was going to use it. And then it was time to display, so I just hung it over this DIY little towel ladder that I created at Christmas. I will link the DIY if you're interested. Now, a little behind the scenes for staging. Some of my favorite places to get the little trinkets that you see in all these vignettes is Hobby Lobby, but I grabbed this little pitcher and some Dollar Tree straws just to give it some color there. So easy. And then to add a little more oomph to the little tea towel ladder, I grabbed these red measuring cups from Dollar Tree and just tied some jute twine to them so I could hang it off the edge. After a little bit of rearranging, this thing was good to go. I added a couple of these little faux bakery items that I got from the Target dollar spot and a couple other items that I made in previous videos, which I will link down below. You guys really liked seeing in my last video some ideas for styling and how to set things up, so I wanted to share that as well. Now, I've been teasing all week on my Instagram that I had free cut files and free printables coming in this video, and so here I am. I do not want to disappoint. So I have a pack of 20 different patterns as well as some fun designs that I traced on my iPad. I'm getting more and more confident and I'm loving doing these like faceless tracing things. I started doing it for Christmas vacation. So I did this one from Grease, which I absolutely love. I can hear the song in my head, "We Go Together." I also had to do Britney Spears because I am a 90s kid through and through. So I love this. The pattern behind is also a free printable. So you can mix and match them to do a stager sign behind, put it in whatever frame you have. You could even do Dollar Tree frames or clipboards. And these are just so fun. A quick way to add some color without having to spend too much or do too much.
If you're loving these affordable projects, head down and leave me a heart emoji in the comments. That lets me know that you love to save on your seasonal decor. Now, another way that I've been loving to save lately is earning cash back on things I'm gonna buy anyway, and my favorite way to do that is using the free Upside app. Upside works with restaurants, grocery stores, and gas stations to help bring them new customers and to give you cash back for the things you're gonna buy anyway. It helps the businesses because Upsiders are more likely to buy because they know they're gonna get cash back. And I can definitely attest to that because when I'm running low on gas, I'm searching the area around me for Upside participating stations because why not earn when I'm gonna buy it anyway? And then I claim the offer that I want. Then it's as simple as heading to the gas station, checking in on the app if the offer requires it, paying as usual with a linked debit or credit card. That's it, just a couple steps, easy peasy. Upside users are earning hundreds of dollars per year and 3 times more cash back compared to credit card rewards or loyalty programs. And you can cash out your earnings anytime via direct deposit, PayPal, or do what I like to do and get e-gift cards to places like Starbucks and Amazon. Plus, Upside's not going to sell your information to third parties, which is huge for me, and I know it's huge for so many of you, and I like knowing my info is secure. To start earning yourself, grab your phone and download the free Upside app either on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Also be sure to enter my code WHIT, which will give you 25 cents back per gallon on your first tank of gas with Upside, which is a great deal, so be sure to check it out. All the info is down in the description. Now let's get back into the DIYs.
I had a fun idea for a fun take on the traditional book stack that you see a lot of people do. So at Dollar Tree, I grabbed 4 different books in all different sizes, so it would kind of look like a step up, but you could do whatever shape you want. And the first thing I needed to do was remove all of these book jackets. Now the first book was already pink, so I was going to leave it as is because it went with my motif. The other one's not so Valentine's, but don't worry, we're going to fix that. So I decided to do my largest book in some craft paper. So this is just Dollar Tree craft paper. And I'm cutting a piece a little bit taller than the book's height. And I'm making sure I have enough to wrap around either sides of the cover. I'm going to fold the top and the bottom to give myself a nice seam. And I just want to make sure then my craft paper is going to be the length of the spine of my book. Then I'm going to open it up, kind of figure out where it needs to be, and if this takes you back to junior high or high school, I am there with you, how we used to wrap our books before they had the fun little stretchy covers that kids put on now. And then I just took a little bit of masking tape to hook it onto either side and repeated that on the back cover. I also did a similar process with the smaller ones, but with fabric, just to add some texture and different color. This is scrap fabric I had from Walmart left over from last year, but you could easily use Dollar Tree fabric or even felt. And if you have an issue with your fabric wanting to stay because you can't fold it as easily as the paper, you can just go ahead and use some more masking tape to get it to stay where you need it to go. Then my last step was to add a little oomph to the spine of the craft paper one. So I measured it and cut out a decal that I created. and it just says The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, because I am big into learning about that, Enneagram, and helping you understand kind of yourself and how you interact with people around you, especially those that you're in friendships with or relationships with. So I added this here, but you could do whatever you wanted. You could stamp it on there. If you don't have a Cricut, you could also write it with a marker or just leave it plain. I'm applying it with the paper transfer tape from Expressions Vinyl that I love so I don't rip up that paper. And then this stack is good to go. I have it displayed here with a picture and this cute little cupcake from the Target dollar spot, but you could also do bookends like these. Both of these are from Dollar Tree. And what I love about this is you could reuse the books for different seasons. Now let me show you how to make those really fun Valentine branches. We recently cut a branch off a tree in our yard, so I took out my tin snips and I cut a bunch of pieces to the approximate size. And then when I got them inside into my picture, I cut them down even more just to kind of get the height and the look I was going for. Then I'm using some more of those felt stickers. I love these things, you guys. You're going to see them in so many projects. And I doubled them up on the ends of each of the pieces using primarily the medium and small sizes that you get in that pack, but you could do whatever size you feel. I added them to a lot of the little offshoots just to kind of look like they were buds on the end. And I really made sure to switch up the colors so there was a nice variety. Once everything was applied where I wanted it, I just wrapped the bottom of my sticks with some packing paper just to get them to stay more centralized and not kind of really lean over the side. And here is my final look. It kind of looks like cherry blossoms, which I really like. I love how this turned out. It's great to pair with those books or on its own. And I honestly just took a picture that I was using for Christmas. I flipped it around. The back actually says the most wonderful time of the year. So it's a nice way to reuse that stuff. I paired it with this cute little coffee sign from Hobby Lobby, and also that fun little cupcake from the Target dollar spot. And my little garland is clearance Christmas stuff from Target. I teased this project big time over on my Instagram and so many of you were excited, so here we go. We're grabbing one of these Dollar Tree wood rounds and I am going to stain it, but you can paint it and do whatever background you want. Step 1 is to measure your round, and if you're using the Dollar Tree one, they are 11.75 inches. So we're going to head into Design Space and create a circle that's the same size as that to help us get this flowing. I changed mine to white just for visual's sake, and then I'm going over to upload, and I'm going to upload I Don't Care, also the Backstreet Boy image, and also As Long As You Love Me. All of these are available over on my blog. I'm going to change I Don't Care and As Long As You Love Me to red, again for visual's sake. And then I am going to size the Backstreet Boys to the circle. Now I'm tilting it just a little bit to help me fit and make the distance from AJ to Howie a little bit longer. And then I needed just a little bit more here on the end, so Howie's shoulder went all the way across. So I am just taking a little square and I am going to go down to combine and weld them together. And then I am selecting the circle as well as the Backstreet Boys. And I wanted to make sure to duplicate my circle before I do that because I'm about to lose it. And I'm going to click slice. It's going to act like a cookie cutter. And as you start pulling pieces away, you are going to be left with the black outline of them, but it's going to fit within the circle. And this is going to help with application later. Then I am resizing the I Don't Care for the top, and you could do your own text and your own fonts this way. You could just use the Backstreet Boy, SVG, do whatever you feel. And then I added an offset by clicking offset while I had As Long As You Love Me selected, and I did 0.2. I changed that to white just so visually I could see what I was working with, and then I cut it all out. Then once everything is cut out, we're going to weed it, and especially with the Backstreet Boy one, you want to make sure that you just go carefully. If you have any pieces that are being difficult, you can go through and just trim off some of that extra vinyl, so then that way you aren't working with a huge piece, and I find it's a lot easier if you go bit by bit. After the weeding is complete, then we're going to need to mark off where we want our pink background. So because I did the boys at an angle, I marked where the bottom of the design is as well as the top. So then that way I could paint a pink swatch that was going to really align with that vinyl piece. So I painted and I used the masking tape to get clean lines. And once it was dry, I peeled that off, made sure it was fully dry. And then I'm using paper transfer tape to start by applying my black Backstreet Boys design. Now with the curved sides, it was a lot easier to figure out where it needed to go. So I got that all aligned and applied it from the center out so I didn't have any air bubbles. And then once that was applied, I used the same transfer tape. I just cut off a little piece and did "I don't care" across the top. And then I also did my offset with "As Long As You Love Me." And I had a little bit of an issue here, and I wanted to share it just so that you know it happens to the best of us. I had my Y stick before it was in the right spot, so I just kind of peeled it off and then manually put it back on. It happens, you know. A lot of cricketing, I feel like, and vinyl cutting in general is being resourceful and being able to fix things if it gives you an issue, but it turned out really great. I actually made 2 of these, one to give to my best friend who also loves Backstreet Boys as much as I do. So excited for that to be a Valentine's Day gift, and I am so excited to display this. This thing is awesome. It's gonna be one of my favorite Valentine's Day items. Now, what if you want to make one of those door hangers, but you're not a BSB fan? I am slightly offended. No, just kidding. We can still be friends. But I am going to also share cut files and an idea for just a Valentine's Day sign. So here I stained the same sign from Dollar Tree, and I just marked the exact center and painted the bottom pink. Then I am cutting out an 11.75 inch wide version of this file that I will provide for free over on my blog. It will be this semicircle, and it is leopard plus just some hearts in there. I did something for Christmas that had trees within the leopard print, and you guys loved it, so I decided to make this heart one so we could just keep it rolling. Then I'm using that paper transfer tape again to apply it to the bottom, kind of get it aligned with the bottom of the sign as well as that pink that we painted. Peel it off, and then I also cut out this Hello Valentine. This is 11.25 wide, using that same paper transfer tape, and we're going to apply it right to the center of our sign. And voila! So you can either go full-on 90s pop with me, or you can just do Valentine. You could also paint the bottom whatever color that you want, but I love this pink, and I love how these turned out. You guys know I am the #1 fan of screen printing over here, but I wanted to share another technique I recently tried and I am in love with. I grabbed this red Gildan shirt from Dollar Tree and some of this puff vinyl that I recently got from Expressions Vinyl. It is in my mystery box if you ended up purchasing one of those from them, and it's something that you can cut. You're going to cut just like iron-on. You just want to make sure you know which side is the white, but then we're going to cut it just like iron-on and apply it similarly, but at 280 for 15 seconds. You only want to press it once, and I'm doing a 4-inch wide little XOXO that will be a file over on my blog. Once you press it, the carrier sheet will pop off and it like puffs up. That's why it's called EV Puff Vinyl. I love this. It's some fun texture, and you want to make sure you let it sit for 24 hours before you wash it. But this thing is so cute. It's a nice, fun, understated Valentine's Day t-shirt. The t-shirt is super comfy, and you would never guess that I got it for a $1.25 plus a little scrap piece of that puff vinyl. So if you're interested in that, I will link the puff vinyl down below, but you could also do this with a screen print or a regular heat transfer vinyl. And I also made this sweatshirt that I got off Amazon with a similar file and the puff vinyl. So I am definitely going to be using more of that. Last year, I shared what I put in Finn's Valentine's Day basket, and so many of you said that you were happy that I did, so I wanted to share his again in this video. I started with this Love You Always bin that I got from Dollar Tree, and it is a great size to fit everything that I got him. I stuffed the bottom with a little bit of packing paper as well as some fabric just to have it sit up, and I added these unfinished wood hearts from Target. I also added this Target love letter box and a couple books, Curious George, Happy Valentine's Day, and this construction site, You're Just Right, because Finn loves that series. I got these cute little cups with straws for $3 each in the Target dollar spot, and I also got these bluey Valentines so we can do some crafts together. I finished it off with some of these cute little ducks from the Target dollar spot that Finn loves to get. He has some Halloween ones that are probably ready to be 86'd because they just get icky in the bathtub. And I like to give him this on February 1st, and it's just some fun stuff that we can do together throughout the month, or at least the first 2 weeks, so that we can have some fun memories together.
That's gonna do it for this round of DIYs. Be sure to head down to the comments and let me know which one was your favorite. Also, if you recreate my stuff, use my printables or my cut files, be sure to share a picture on social media. I absolutely love to see what you're up to and what you're creating with my files. So you can tag me, Whiskey and Whit. I'm on all the major platforms and I would love to see what you're creating. A huge thank you to Upside for sponsoring today's video. You can get it for free on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. And if you use the promo code WHIT, you'll get 25 cents back on each gallon during your first tank of gas with Upside. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!